Hola and welcome to a new episode of the Roofless Dog and Pony Show. My name is Julio Panicello. I am the Dream Alchemist at Roofless Painters, a free-range art school and gallery for creative nomads of all stripes. Yay! With every episode, we reveal the theme of the next painting collection, so you can find out what we will be painting and also the reason why. We explain where the painting theme comes from and how it relates to our contemporary time. We explore different possibilities for visual representation on the concept using images of paintings throughout art history as inspiration, while citing stylistic and historical references. In many ways, our episodes are like our paintings, messy and predictable, unvarnished, so you just don't know what's going to happen. And but please stay with us. It's going to be less than 30 minutes. All episodes can be found as video on Instagram and also on our YouTube channel, and also as podcasts on any podcast platform. You just go wherever you listen to podcasts and you type the Roofless Dog and Pony Show, and we have a bunch, and we have to catch up because we have a lot of them that we haven't uploaded yet, but we will do it this week. You're welcome to contact us with any questions, comments about this episode, and to contribute your notes to this presentation. We stand to be corrected. And I lost my voice because yesterday we had the most amazing, incredible experience painting at the rooftop of Ace Hotel with a fantastic, amazing group of humans, and it was so much fun. And we love what we do. We were so passionate, and I lost my voice a little bit, but it was amazing. We're gonna do it again in November, but we have a couple of dates coming up. But anyhow, so thanks for being here, and I'm gonna bring a couple of references about the next painting theme. It was amazing to paint socks this past week, and we have great examples. So thanks everyone who contributed. So this week, we're going to bring a couple of paintings by an artist who paints crystals. And we saw his work a few months ago, a while ago. And we sort of like have an archive of themes and subjects that at some point we want to paint. And life has been so crazy, and there have been so many things around us that have pulled us in different directions, but I feel like this is a good time to go back to that little archive and find some of the ideas and images that got us inspired to do something similar. So yes, we're gonna paint crystals, we're gonna paint stones. It's gonna be a still life based, but we're gonna give options about painting from life or taking photographs. And we hope that the next few images will inspire you to either grab a rock or a crystal that it's around your home, or just choose an image that inspires you, or maybe this could be a great opportunity to go grab a rock. There is so much that we have read recently about the importance of rituals and how the digitalization of our lives are just pulling us away from anything that is ritual or anything surrounding physical objects, and what we attribute to them. It's something that has been with the human condition for a very long time, and we're losing it. So let me just show you the original image or images. So this is, of course, it's incredible. This artist is amazing in the sense that he is able to um, uh, add a great deal of likeness to his translations, but it's a watercolor. It's a watercolor of crystal. So, he has an Instagram account, and we suggest you follow him. His name is Brian Jeongyoung Lee. Brian Jeongyoung Lee. And we're just gonna put his information on the email that we're gonna send tonight about this next painting webinar. So, yeah, when we saw this painting, this watercolor, months ago, I would say even perhaps more than a year ago, we immediately bookmarked it, and we knew that this is such a great subject to incorporate to a painting practice. So in a way, crystals or stones provide an opportunity to just transcend representation and focus on variations of color and light. So we're going to try with this assignment, we're going to try to just keep the physical object or the focal point simple, and then just use the variations and the range and the spectrum of value and light to really practice how far we can push that range with our colors. So don't be intimidated by the realism or the likeness or the hyperrealism by this painting. This is not what we are going to try to do. This is an inspiration for a collection of paintings that's going to be based on any crystals or stones, if we have them around our home or dear to us. And if we don't, we're going to provide a library of images that you're going to be able to choose from. I don't have the title of this specific watercolor. I know that he does this right now. He is really passionate about documenting, and there's something really classic about this in the sense that it reminds us of the botanical illustrations of the early 1800s, and how some botanists, they were both scientists and artists at the same time. They would just go out and they would just document nature. So he attributes or he mentions the source of the crystal under the title, and so as a way to document nature and translate its beauty through an artistic practice. There's something very analog in what he does, and we love that. So I'm just going to bring another image of his work. This is another watercolor. He experiments with different media, watercolor, acrylic, and oil studies. And although we have sort of like an issue with speeding up the process and exposing all the secrets to an audience, we are against that with what is it called? The compressing a long period of time into time lapse. We are not fans of time lapse posts because they reveal everything and they expose things that remove the magic. But if you're interested, on his Instagram, he features the whole process from the beginning until the end. And again, probably we're gonna have to write a blog post or do a separate video or during the class to explain the reasons why we are not fans of time lapses. But at the same time, you can see that through the process there is a simplicity, even though it looks very sophisticated and hyper realistic. There's a simplicity and an economy of steps that will surprised us and will surprise you as well. So another example, and this is an illustration or an example of an artist translation of a subject that we are proposing for these next few days, crystals. So I'm going to bring another example of another artist that we found, a contemporary artist. We didn't crop this properly, but you can see a bit of the painting. This is a crop painting. Sometimes technology is super dumb. Her name is Bradford. Bradford, and she's a contemporary artist, and she is a representational, process-based, analog, fungible. I don't know. There are so many adjectives that I feel like now we need to use in order to define what we do. Traditional visual artist doesn't fit the bill anymore. She paints, she creates objects of art that are physical, that are made of atoms and molecules. So there you go. And she also has a few paintings that document crystals. So we thought this was a good example. It's simple. It only has like 3 crystals with a base that's metallic, and then the background is flat with no architectural context. So we have 2 images. Let me see if the other one is actually properly cropped. Yes, this one is properly cropped. Again, this is from by the same artist, Bradford, and she incorporates on this one other elements. There are flowers. There is a bottle. I think the title of this painting is Purple, and then there is a crystal with a beautiful reflection. And we want to invite you to look at the actual crystal, because that's our proposed theme for this week, to just grab a crystal and then take the opportunity that the crystal is not really an object that has a specific form that's universal and that we can identify with something. It's amorphous, it's open-ended in its representation and physicality, so we can truly use something like that to practice color, practice, process our color palette, talk about light and shadow, reflection, texture, saturation, desaturation, in a very safe way. So there you go. Another example. And finally, do we have another painting? We have 2 more paintings, 2 more artists. This is a painting just to give you an idea of the range, going from hyperrealism to something that feels borderline or closer to abstraction. This artist, Herbert Brand, also contemporary artist. The title of this painting, Rock Crystal, painted in 2015. And we chose it as an example or inspiration for this collection of paintings that we're going to create starting tomorrow with our remote webinar that anyone anywhere around the world can join. We thought it was a good example to sort of like show a different approach, a different style, a different way to capture our rock, because when we hear the word crystal, we hear reflection, perfection, we hear almost like gem, color, and immediately in our minds we start mounting this challenging subject that we won't be able to really tackle. So here you have a really freeing representation of a rock that I don't know if we could identify if it's a quartz or if it's like a river rock or if it's broken or not, but there's something really interesting, and there's an absence of background, there's an absence of surface. Is the rock on top of something? Is there did the artist use a bird's eye view? Maybe he painted it the piece of rock from above, and that's why we don't see the edge of a table. There's something really interesting about this simple, very monochromatic, but with a few touches of brown in certain spots, and also a cold gray in other spots. A great exploration of value and variations of color within a very safe subject matter, I should say. And finally, the complete opposite of what we showed right now. This is a painting. This artist, his name is Stephen Machiver. Stephen Machiver. The title is Asture. That's how it's written. 2015. It's an oil painting. It's cropped. Unfortunately, you can see the edges of the gem outside and the white background. But talk about distinction or difference, or a 180 degree compared to what we showed before. This is a human cut piece of crystal that is featuring the different facets and how the light is reflecting and fracting, I don't know if that's a verb or not, in different shades of gray. So can you bring a piece of jewelry as a subject? You can also. It doesn't have to be a rock crystal, a natural crystal. It could be a polished crystal. It could be a crystal that you may own in the form forgive us for the interruption, in the form of a gem, a piece of jewelry. That could be also, you can take a really a close-up of that crystal or stone or gem. The idea again is to just use a rock formation that specifically has the structure of a crystal to use it as subject. And finally, to end the presentation, we're gonna keep it under 20 minutes hopefully. We're gonna show you two examples of photos of crystals, actually, photographs of crystals, to just give you an idea of what we are hoping to inspire you to do with us this week. So I forgot the source. I should have taken notes of that, but I think it's an amethyst. So it's a photo that we found online, and there you go. That's an example of a crystal. And again, after the paintings, after what we said about using an amorphous and not recognizable shape, that it's taken from nature and it's not human-made, the possibility to explore and experiment texture, color, and value could be a really fun exercise, a really safe, inviting, not easy, because we want to challenge ourselves, but at the same time, something that would provide an opportunity to practice, experiment, and see what happens when we try to desaturate and create different versions of a color applied in a very fragmented way. Or maybe not, because there's another example that we're going to bring of a different kind of crystal. This is from the same manufacturer. I have no idea of the name, but it's the crystal formation of this particular crystal creates almost like eggshell layers. So it's not pointy or rough. And it doesn't have this pixelated texture. But again, another opportunity to practice variations of a color that we could experiment with the palette that we may have. So we hope this was useful and inspiring, and we did our best to sort of like grab some images of paintings that we connected with, and also these couple of examples of photographs of actual crystals, in order to present something that we think it's going to be a fantastic opportunity to continue challenging ourselves and practice a little bit outside of representation. So that's it. Thanks for joining us, by the way. Just you can watch this later, and then we're gonna create a little podcast episode as well, which we will upload today, along with others that we have ready to upload. And so crystals. I have a ton of crystals around the house, so I'm excited. I'm gonna decide if I want to use more than one, a polished one next to a rough one. But I have like tons of these little magical things, and that's gonna be the subject matter. Still life, but also portraying nature in a way. And we will talk a little bit more about the value of ritual, something that it's inherent to the human condition and that we are losing every single day when we are detaching ourselves so much from nature. There were burial grounds dating thousands of years ago that had human remains, bones, and also stones, along with the bones, I guess. So this is not something that it's a fad or something new agey that's happening right now. I feel like as long as we've been humans, we have had this passion or this love for objects, especially natural objects that humans have always used as a gateway for ideas or dreams or principles or rituals. And I was just kind of like checking a little bit of the history of using rocks, stones, and crystals as symbol for something beyond the natural. And there are many, many examples throughout many cultures and civilizations. But it seems that the earliest the earliest recorded time in which humans used rocks as devices of healing or containing something beyond the natural was during the Egyptian civilization. That was sort of like the earliest record, apart from burial grounds containing human remains and rocks and crystals and trinkets and other stuff. All right, so link is up on the calendar. We're gonna send an email if you want to join us. If you want to join the email list, you can just go to our website. We have like a specific thing that allows you to easily sign up, or through our Instagram bio. There's also a link in there. You can sign up with that. So that's our main form of communication. So I'll see you this week. Can't wait for the paintings. Bye.